Thank you very much. Respected Swamiji, friends, especially my young friends there. I want two things from you for the next 15 minutes. Okay, and I hope for the rest of your life, at least for the next 15 minutes, I want two things that I would like to see one of them. The first thing is a smile on your face. Can I see that? I think I can. Some of you are still wondering why this guy is starting like this, but most of you at least immediately opened up and smiled. So thank you for that. The second I can't see, but I hope you have it. I hope I have it, right? And that is an open mind. The path to peace is an open mind. If you don't keep your mind open to other people, other thinking, other philosophies, other communities, other not just religions, but any other practice of other people. If you're not open enough to understand, then you can never be peaceful within. So the first change we have to make is what? Smile on your face. Even when you're facing the biggest problems in your life, smile, because that shows your confidence in handling the problem. It's not that you can solve the problem, but you get the strength to solve the problem by smiling in the face of adversity. Of course, girls, young girls like you are told by your mothers, don't smile at strange men. And remember, all men are strange. So you're always scared. But confident people never worry about that. They say, I know how to deal with it if you don't behave the right way. I know myself more than I know you. And that is the strength of what I'm going to speak about in the next few minutes. So there was a young boy, he was 6 or 7 years old, and he was trying to study history. And suddenly he saw his father and mother sitting in the room, so he thought he'll talk to them. And he said, Dad, how do wars begin? Wars between countries, how do they begin? So the dad said, oh, beta, I'll tell you, 1 minute, give me a minute, I'll think about it and tell you. The mother said, oh, don't need time to tell him, he's so young. Okay, one man fights with another man, then everyone joins either this man or that man, it becomes a war. The father put down his whatever he was doing and he said, no, that's not the truth. The truth is, when you have territorial aggression, territorial ambition, somebody crosses the line, then the army comes in. Mother said, look, he's my son. He's only 6 years old. I know he can't understand territorial ambition. I'm telling him in a simple way. Why can't you take it? He said, no, but if you tell him now like this, how will he learn the right way? No, you don't know anything. No. They started fighting. Then the son said, stop. Now I know how wars start. Right? So most of us don't realize that it starts with the mind. With what I think I know and what you think is right, and all of our opinions start with my mind. If I take a minute to filter that in my mind and say, why am I responding like this? Why is it that I am having the problem with the world, not the world is having a problem with me? If 10 people say that, for example, I was very happy when they introduced me and said, you be the first to speak. But believe me, after lunch, in corporate training, we call it the graveyard slot. Right? When you're fighting your tummy and your brain, they are fighting in between. One says, I want to sleep, and the other says, I want to listen. Normally, the tummy wins. Right? And say, we can't listen to all this after lunch. So it's very, very important that all struggles, all fights, start with what we have been talking from the morning. Okay? How do you program yourself? And that is the only way to learn. If you have really seen, I think we can go to the next slide. I'm going to, So first of all, the Vishnu Mohan Foundation believes that knowledge is the only way. Right? If you've seen the tagline of the Vishnu Mohan Foundation, what does it say? If you don't know, find out. That's for the youngsters, you're reading so many things outside on peace, find out the tagline of the Vishnu Mohan Foundation, and you will realize it's a line from the Bhagavad Gita that tells you that without knowledge, you will never reach liberation. You will never reach a stage of no struggle. nahi jnanena sadrisham, etc., etc. Find out. Okay, that's a little assignment I'm giving all my young friends in the back. Why do we say that knowledge is the only way forward? Because somebody said when you open a school or a college, you close down a prison. So violence starts with lack of opportunity. It starts with people not having a chance to express themselves and their dreams. And then they start fighting because they can't find the right way out. So we have to believe in education. And that's why I said, my guru, Swami Chinmayananda, said, honest wealth alone can bring about peace and steady progress. Honest wealth. How does honest wealth come? Only when you live in a win-win world. Right? I should come up, but you also can come up. I don't have to fight you to come up. And you don't have to fight me or finish me to come up in life. So we should believe in a win-win world. So let's go back to the first slide, if you don't mind. Before that, my opening slide. What does my topic say? How to build peace into a win-win digital world. Because, today we talked about many religions. Today we heard speakers from Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity. We missed one important religion today in today's conference. You know what it is? Guess what it is? The WhatsApp religion. The WhatsApp world has become a religion by itself. It is changing lives. It is controlling people. With more religious fervor, people are following WhatsApp than even their own gurus. In fact, they ask their guru, I read in WhatsApp, and then the guru says, then don't even ask me the doubt. It can't be, I can't solve it for you. Why? Because you're learning so much from different people without an idea. And the digital world is actually controlling our lives today. How many of you agree? Please put up your hands. Yeah, so at least I know you're awake. Right? The others, I know where you are, so I don't even try to put up your hand. So the real challenge is to create a win-win world. A win-win world, and that's why I actually missed if you look at the topic that I have given, which is not on my slide, it is www.worldpeace.org. That's the topic I chose. So what is www? We normally call it the World Wide Web, right? But I call www as the win-win world. If I can I can create a win-win world around me, which morning, Ramakrishna ji mentioned, the last slide on his talk was about ethics. If you live with ethics, you are creating a win-win world. All you need is justice and peace. The two components of justice and peace are built by ethics. If you live by do unto others as you want others to do unto you. Nobody would say, I want to stick a knife into somebody, hoping that somebody will do it to me one day. Please come and stick a knife into me. Nobody says that. You do it out of frustration. As somebody said, anger is a temporary madness. When you're angry with something, I think it was again Ramakrishna ji who said it's temporary madness. You forget who you are and do things. And then you come back with guilt, and you feel bad about it, and then you overcompensate. Working parents will understand. You overcompensate for your anger because you can't control your children, and then you buy them things they don't deserve, and then they don't know how to deal with it, and you create a whole mess around you. So the change actually starts with education. So next slide, please. Of course, I mentioned if you have the time, go to the net, right? Listen to this beautiful song by M.S. Subbulakshmi, right? And I'm sure all of you know this, but many people don't know that this song was sung at the United Nations Assembly by a famous singer called M.S. Subbulakshmi. Younger people may not even know who she is, but please find out. She's one of the sweetest voices ever born in India, and who sang classical music and film music in Tamil. And what did she sing? The song was written by the famous pontiff of Kanchi Mutt, Periva as we call him. This very, 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 very renowned polyglot who knew more than 15 languages. He could speak in Romanian, for example, to devotees who came from Romania. Right? but he lived in Kanchipuram all his life. So what is the miracle? He was so open to the universe that he could pick up anything from anywhere, and he was a great saint. We live so close to Kanchipuram. Some of you youngsters should take a trip to Kanchipuram once, just to see that place, just to soak in the peace in that environment. And he wrote the song as a special offering at the United Nations, so that when she is invited to sing there, she can sing it. And what does it say? If you go to the next slide, please. Maitrim Bhajata. Serve with friendship and humility. I don't think anyone in this hall will ever doubt that service is great only when it's done with humility and friendship. So when you go to a hotel, you always look at the service. When people do it genuinely, you know the difference. When people don't serve you genuinely, you can make out the difference. And you don't care how much ever money you pay, you really don't care if they don't serve with friendship and love, right? And then if you go through the song, you will realize, I'm not going through the whole thing because I don't have time, but I would say renounce unnecessary competition for power. Okay? Artyam tyajata, yuddham tyajata. Renounce war. I mean, simple things that we can do even today. And I told you it starts at the home every day. Right? When you shout at each other, war starts in the head. And from there, it goes to the battlefield. You grow up into a bitter person. You want to fight everybody you meet. And you don't even realize why they are fighting with you. Right? It starts with a simple thought. And if you look at the great Ganga, the great Mother Ganga, Ganges, in Gomukh, you can actually put your hand and stop the Ganga because it's a little trickle coming out of a rock called, Gomukh, which is shaped like a head of a cow. But when it comes to, Prayagraj or later in Patna, you can't even see the other end of the Ganga because, like in your mind, your thoughts will crowd you and you cannot control it. But when it starts as a thought, stop it there and say, I shouldn't be thinking like this. Screen it at that point. You'll be able to control your feelings. But on WhatsApp or on digital media, you don't get the time to respond. Somebody is pumping you with a message, and you immediately respond or react. If you take some time off, and morning I was very happy to see that the teacher from Stella Maris, she was telling us, Sister Mary was telling us, that you can actually do that by putting off your mobile for 1 hour a day, which is doable for all of us. You can control your impulses. And even as I'm talking, I'm looking at my mobile to say, did I say the right thing? Right? Because it's on my mobile. And am I following that? So I think we are living in a digital world, and we have to learn to manage it better before it manages us, which is what is happening today. So let us go to, those are the key words, but it's a beautiful song. The last line says it all. Restrain yourself and donate your wealth to others. And Swami Chinmayananji used to say very often, there's a 31-page calendar, which we keep flipping every day with his picture and his quotations. One of them, I think it was day 27. It always says, work for the maximum, live with the minimum, and throw the rest back into the world. What a beautiful philosophy it is, right? Work hard, like Narayana Murthy, like, let's say the Murugappas, the Tatas, they have amassed wealth, but they don't keep it for themselves, they give it away. Even this beautiful college is inspired by, a great saint, Kripananda Warrior, and he taught people only to give away their wealth. That's how Sharavana Bhavan became such a great chain of restaurants. Why? Because you do your best, make the wealth, but you don't hoard it, you give it away to others. Donate to everybody, and it becomes a win-win world, because I don't want anything, I want to give. The moment I give, others will give to me. Like Swami Anukulananda said in the morning, Swami Chinmayananji believed that if the Hindus really want to build a mosque in Ayodhya for the Muslims, they will reciprocate and build the temple, perhaps even better, or the other way around. That's normal human relationship. But normally we think, oh, what will happen to me then? So because of our insecurity, we do all of this. And if you go to the next slide. Yeah. So what am I saying? Ultimately, world peace is built by design and not by default. Today it is by default. And today, where there is no war, we call it a peace zone. We don't create peace zones. We are just living because there is no war here. Oh, thank God. Right? There are two types of people. People who get up in the morning and say, good morning, God, because it's peaceful. And then there are people, oh, God, it's morning because there's a war going on. Right? So you can't afford to live by default. You have to create peace by design. And what are the things you can do? Next slide. And I was very happy that in the morning, Swamiji mentioned this about the United Nations, and I was thinking, oh God, he must not think that I have made the slide after he spoke, right? So the next, war is not born on the battlefield, but it's in the minds of men. And it is in the minds of men that bastions of peace must be built. So the United Nations had taken that resolve in 1945 after World War II. Just as Arjuna learnt from Lord Krishna and changed and brought peace into Hastinapur after the war, United Nations also wanted to do the same thing, but it lost its way because of vested interest and powers. Different countries wanting to control, right? Even today, it's, the United Nations should be like the captain of a football team because every country is a member of the United Nations. But they have become the football of the team. They have been kicked around by all the countries as if they are a football. So can you afford to allow that to happen when you are not building, you are not doing any peace-building initiative? You are only fighting where the fight starts, United Nations steps in. That's already too late. It has already started earlier. And you should have been working in building peace. So next slide. Early childhood education, especially in Japan, the first 3-4 years, they don't teach you anything from the syllabus. It's all about how to show respect to others, how to keep your slippers in place. In China also, I believe, some videos show that even Chinese children come home, take off their clothes, fold it up, wash their face, only then they do the next thing. In India, I have 2 grandchildren, so I don't even need to tell you. Right? We are all the time mopping up behind them, running behind them, shouting at them, getting shouted at by them. Right? Ultimately, there is a war going on at home because they won't listen. Now, unless we work on that issue in the first few years of their life, and more than us, they are going to struggle in their lives, not us. We may be struggling today to control them. They will never be able to control themselves after they grow up. So what are we doing? Early childhood education, especially on the use of the internet. How many agree? Put up your hands. Use of the internet needs education. How many agree? How to use the internet? Of course they do. Some of you are still awake. Good. Some hands are coming up. Right? Unless we know how to use the things we use, it is of no use blaming whoever made the thing. Yes or no? Don't blame somebody who gave you the mobile and say, see, it's spoiling my child. You have to teach the children how to use the mobile properly. And not to take them to the supermarket because they will ask for popcorn is not the answer. How to teach them Shama and Dama. Right? Don't take them to the supermarket is not the answer. Teach them the strength to face the supermarket where they can enjoy going to the supermarket. And like Swami Chinmayananji used to say, and I'm sure all the followers that he has created all around the world say this, right? Learn to admire, not to possess. That is the root of peace. Learn to admire the world. I go to a 5-star hotel, I enjoy it. But why do I want to then aspiration, oh, I should go again. I need the money. Where will I get the money from? I should become rich. Only then I can go to the 5-star. This is where the karma, unlimited, or illegitimate desire, as Ramakrishna ji called it, starts from wanting too much. Next. Okay. Social media is a guided missile in the hands of misguided young minds. How many agree? Put up your hands. Social media is a guided missile. It can help you change your life. But if the mind is not prepared, don't blame the missile, right? Somebody gave me something, I threw it at somebody else, right? And then I get angry. Because of my anger, I can't control it. I throw the mobile breaks. I have to buy a new mobile. Who am I blaming? I'm blaming my mind. Even then, I blame this mobile company is very bad. I threw it once and it broke, right? I don't worry about why I threw the phone, but I blame the mobile company for. So this is where wrong programming. That's why somebody said human beings are perfectly made by design, but programmed for failure. Got it? The human beings are made perfectly by design, but programmed for failure because we enter the wrong software into the hardware. And then next. So what is the answer? Peace education. I was lucky that I met Swami Chinmayananji when I was young. He mentored all our lives and created in us this desire to live a peaceful life. And sometimes, you yourself wonder if it happens by design or whether it was actually destiny or whatever it is, but you feel so privileged that you met a person like him. All of us are not that lucky. We have to find the right mentors, the right teachers. Daniel Goleman, at the same time in America, created this great tool called emotional intelligence. And we do a lot of work in corporate training based on emotional intelligence. What does that start with? Step number 1, self-awareness. Become more aware of yourself. Then the ego can be managed. The false self is the ego. The unaware self is the ego. Right? The moment you become aware of it, you start. And the example Swamiji used to give us, Gurudev used to give us, is if you are walking and you suddenly see a mirror and there's a black spot, some dirt on your face, will you say, let me go home and wipe it, or will you wipe it up immediately? Obviously, or will you blame the mirror and break it? How can I have a black spot? So the obvious thing is you want to remove your own imperfections. All of us want to be perfect, but we should be ready to remove our imperfection through education, self-awareness, self-regulation, which we call discipline. Army, youngsters, you can take the example of the army. Many of you joined the army because there is no employment opportunity outside. I'm a poor student. I can't get into university or what I want. So let me join the army. But there you get inspired how to defend the country, how to live for a greater cause. And the same boy who has long hair, teases girls, right, cheats, sometimes drinks, smokes, does all of it. Once he joins the army, his mind is trained. 1 year down the line, he comes back so different. Short haircut, smart, helping other people, right? Bending down and touching the feet of his parents on their whatever occasion. These are things that we learn by training and education. So the army is an example of self-regulation. Social awareness. You become aware of other people because of your high self-awareness. Because I'm aware of how I feel, I know what drives other people, and I learn how to deal with them. And I learn to get the best out of them. And of course, the last thing is social skills. How many people feel it's important today? Please put up your hands. Social skills. Just to develop that skill rather than get it by default, following somebody else, following somebody's style, which is parodharma. Just because somebody has long hair, I keep it. I look like a monkey, he doesn't. Because he has a personality that suits long hair. Mine doesn't. Of course, I can talk about hair confidently, right? None of you can. So it's about how you deal with your own personality, social skills. And next. Oh, great. Yep, I am coming to the end, so I don't think I have much left, but I just want to recap it in one slide. So emotional intelligence is important, which means actually your head and heart coming together. Your emotions are in the heart, this thing comes from the head. The intelligence comes from the head. So when the M and the I, which Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji made world famous with a BMI chart, body, mind, intellect. And he said your body is actually your hand, which does the work. Your heart is the mind, which has all the emotions. Oh, I love that girl. I can't live without her. Oh, that boy is so handsome. Those are coming from the heart, impulses. But the head says, hey, உனக்கு அதெல்லாம் வேலைக்கு ஆகாது, right? உனக்கு இனியும் படித்து ஏதாவது பண்ணணும், வீட்டில் சாப்பாடுக்கு காசு இல்லை. That message comes from the head. And then it's okay, I'll push that thought aside. That is what matters, emotional intelligence. Manage your emotions before they manage you, before your emotions manage you. So what do we need? Promote peace. Start practicing peace at home. Have a prayer time for peace, not for a particular God. Then the differences start. My God is better than your God. Even in Hinduism, we'll have 100 fights. Even in Islam, everywhere there is a fight. Even in Christianity, there is a fight. Why? Because my God is better than your God. Instead of that, what do I want? I want peace. I want more peace in the world. Can I pray for that, please? Right? That is a beginning. More peace education. How do I create more peace around me in a win-win manner? People shouldn't struggle, right? See the other point of view, right? Empathize more, show more compassion, and you must do it practicing with more peace language. Use words that don't hurt other people. Don't allow people to use words that hurt you, because you know that's the trigger for your emotions. So please don't use that word, I get upset. Okay? So you must learn to practice peace language. More peace communities. Join peace communities. Join your friends. Now there's a famous book called Ikigai that has become so famous all over the world, the Japanese art of older people, how do they maintain or live longer. But I think that's applicable to young people today. Because there are young people of 20 who feel like they're 80 because they're bored with life. And there are old people at 80 feeling like they're still 20 because they are so full of life. So you have to create peace communities. And what is the incentive for all this? It's a win-win solution for progressive growth, right? You have to grow. All of us don't have a choice, right? But we have to grow progressively, not regressively. Today, regressive growth is easy. Right? Somebody wanted to, they were getting married. So he said, my fiancé says, I'm a little too fat. Can I reduce 10 kilos by next week? So his friend said, no problem. Cut off both your legs. Straight away, you'll lose 10 kilos, right? That's not a solution. You can't take any quick action to bring peace into a place. You have to work much harder for peace. Okay, immediately don't allow an invasion. Take action, stop it. But don't allow it to happen again, right? You cannot have it again. One gentleman stepped out of the house, the banana skin. He put his leg and he slipped. And then he got up and went away. He felt very stupid like Mr. Bean. Next day, he got out of the house, the same place there was a banana skin, the same banana skin. He said, oh, aaj bhi girna padega, right? I'll have to fall again. So if you're making the same mistakes again and again, it means you are not changing, right? And that's what we want last slide, I think. Yeah, so I would like to end with this message that Swami Chinmayananji, who I consider one of the greatest teachers for world peace across the world. He created communities called the Chennai Mission, of course, but even without calling it by name, there were many millions we know who were influenced by him than we call even members of Chennai Mission. We know that. Between us, we all know so many others. Even people I've met here who have met him and talked to him. So he was really, in a sense, a world peace builder. And what he said when he spoke at the United Nations in 1992 was individual perfection alone can lead to world perfection. And I think we should give peace a chance to change the world. How many agree? Put up your hands. Right? Where does it start? With me. Don't ask others. Start building peace. Start building small peace centers in your head, then extend it to other people. And very soon, I'm sure, even after my talk, you won't feel like hitting me for what I said, because you have become a peaceful person. Otherwise, I have no guarantees, right? So I hope that all of you enjoyed the talk. I'm sure better. Somebody got so carried away giving a vote of thanks after my talk. They said, sir, thank you so much. You were so inspiring. Next year, we will invite better speakers. So I don't think she meant it that way, but she said it. I hope they don't say it today. But definitely, I want to thank Swami Sri Hari Prasad for giving this wonderful opportunity. He is a standing example of creating peace initiatives. Right? You have to talk about it 100. You have to talk about it 100 times more. And I was like many of you sitting in halls, listening to people I didn't know, I didn't understand. But someday these thoughts will make sense because there's a divine intelligence that works into your brain. You don't even know why you were listening in your subconscious. Someday it will all come out as a message that creates a better version of you. God bless you. Thank you. Hari Om.